definitions of words. I mean, Judas, traitor, we've seen all those things bandied about on the internet, on Twitter in particular. Trent has announced that officially, hasn't been a secret. I think it's been something that's been known, has been rumored for the longest time that he might just move off to Real Madrid for free. I might highlight for free. And he's now since released a statement that actually, guys, thank you, goodbye. I am leaving. I'm going to Real Madrid, but chances are he's going to be there. Do you think it's fair to say he's a traitor? Because obviously he's come through the system. He's a boy of the cloth, and he's now leaving for free. Do you think how it's happened and how he's exited suggests that he's a traitor?
I tend to back fans and the feelings that they have around the football clubs because they're supporters. And what support means is the entire range of emotions that you feel. Of course, there are instances, and we'll get into if this is one of those instances where fans cross a line, or they're delusional, or they don't have a perspective that goes beyond their myopic view of a situation. But when teams do well, right, you cheer for them, and that's what the fans do. Like they backing their teams, and they're involved in their teams even beyond just what happens on the field of play. Like it's part of the fabric of their community, which is the thing with Liverpool and Trent and being a Scouse and that fan base, right? And as such, Chuck, I get why the Liverpool fans are saying that he's a traitor. Like, I get it. And the thing is, because I'm not a Liverpool fan, I feel an inclination to say that they are wrong or that he isn't. But I can't help but feel that if I was in the same shoes and say Bukayo Saka, right, as an Arsenal fan, although like I just love Saka. Different. Like I feel like Saka is like he's our nephew. That even if he decided to do something like this, like I'd be hard pressed to say traitor. So I'm on the fence about it, Chuck. I'm on the fence about it because the reason that they say, like, Liverpool fans are saying Trent is a traitor is not because he's leaving, right? It's because of the nature of how Liverpool are going to benefit nothing from his departure, whereas Trent is such a valuable bargaining chip where you would have gotten so much money for him, especially when you think about the fact that Liverpool brought in no players other than a Chiesa and somebody else whose name I'm forgetting now in the previous transfer window, in the summer transfer window when Slot joined. So you know that Liverpool are a frugal team. You know that they are looking to have like a big Coutinho sale before they can bring in a Van Dijk and an Alisson, and you see what that does, you know. And as Trent, you're not just a player at Liverpool, you are a fan. And I say that you're a fan not just because you grew up at Liverpool and through the academy, because you've said so yourself, you know, because you are the one, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who went on the front lines feeling all the feelings of being a Liverpool boy, born and bred and raised through the club and the culture of the club, to say that you want to replicate what a Steven Gerrard did there, where you are going to be the captain and you're going to stay the majority, if not the entirety of your career there, and then you change your mind, which you're allowed to do. But at the point that you're no longer exhibiting that fan that you also are, and not just a player of Liverpool. In that, well, when the stories would suggest that Liverpool did make contract offers to Trent like 18 months ago, but he was not forthcoming in terms of what his plans are. And now I don't know if his plans at that point were that he's going to leave, but the suggestion would be that he may have been thinking that, like, at the time, and if he was not going to sign, then to not run down the contract and leave for free, but to get something for him. But at the same time, I also get it, man. Like I could understand how he wasn't at a place where he knew what he was going to do, and because that suggests that he was conniving, right, and plotting against Liverpool, that I'm going to show them I'm not going to sign and I'm going to leave for free. And even if he decides to leave for free, because in his mind he's got like the signing on bonus to think about, he's thinking about himself, and he should think about himself, because if Liverpool knew that this was going to happen, they would have sold him, or if he was somebody else and they felt that they could get something for him and he didn't want to leave, they would have sold him. So they wouldn't have exhibited that kind of loyalty to them. So it's not to the club as such that I feel that he is a traitor or that he should have exhibited loyalty. I'm saying that I get why the Liverpool fans feel the way that they do. Although I'd have a tough time like calling him Judas and such words.
We were here speaking about shouldn't he go? It looks like he's going to stay, and we counted the number of trophies he's won with Liverpool, where he's been a key part of that. So he's given them a Champions League. He's leaving after they've won the league. What more do you want? I know, yes, maybe it's anticlimactic because you're on a high, it's euphoria and nani, but he was there when you were struggling. He was there when you got back up with Klopp. He was there for the Carabao, the FA Cup, the Champions League, the league title. I don't know if there's anything I'm forgetting, but he was there. What more does Trent owe you? Because football is a dirty business. It's a ruthless game. And maybe you'll help me understand this better. But in my mind, I'm like, when Klopp said goodbye to my last dance, no one said anything. No one complained. When players like Junior Wijnaldum were pushed out because Laksana space, the other players preferred ahead of you, no one said anything. No one said, "Oh, sad to see you go." Now that this guy's like, hey, let me think about myself and make decisions that are going to benefit me. He's a traitor now. It doesn't quite make sense, because if one day they find someone from academy who's better than Trent, no one's going to say to him, we stand by Trent even though he's on the bench. There are no such messages. They're like, oh, we're happy that this guy's better. We're a better team because of that. So if it's not going to happen on the one way, because it never happens, Jay. Imagine now we sign Osimhen as Man United. No one's going to say, oh, Rasmus Højlund, you must be having a tough time. We're like, yes, we found someone better. Everyone forgets. And so if he's come to the academy for free and he's leaving for free, what do you want?
It's a shifting scale, right, Chuck?
Yeah.
It is a shifting scale. And I'm sitting here thinking, because in my previous example, trying to project if Saka were to do this. But as an Arsenal fan, I've been here, right, with Arsenal players. Because when Thierry Henry left and subsequently won a Champions League with Barcelona, I don't promote him for that, right? And like Thierry Henry is welcome through the doors of the Emirates. And I when I see Thierry, I see Arsenal. I don't think about, oh man, you left us to go join the team that beat us in the Champions League final and you won a Champions League with them. It feels as if
that's more traitorous,
he gave us everything. That's what I'm saying.
With that storyline, yeah.
It feels as though he gave us everything, and he wasn't like stabbing us in the back. On the flip side, though, like as I've told you before, I don't want to hear like Robin van Persie's name mentioned in my presence as an Arsenal player or Arsenal legend, and
that's not right.
And I can't quite quantify it, Chuck, but because of the fact the narrative with RVP was the fact that when you were injured, we stuck by you, right? And you were there, and we're continuously waiting for you to be healthy so that you can play. And then the moment he got healthy, he was like a season and a half of being healthy. He hit the absolute highs at Arsenal, and then Manchester United came calling and said, "We're gonna win a 20th league title with you."
Got a fee.
And it was like, yes,
give me that. For him.
Even in that case, Chuck, it feels like no, I don't want to see that man. It's similar with Ashley Cole, and even as I've heard Ashley Cole's story that Arsenal were the ones who didn't give him the contract. I think it's where he ended up with a Chelsea, your Nasris who ended up with a Manchester City, players who are pushing to leave the club, and this is not what Trent did. He wasn't pushing to leave the club, but in a sense, he let that happen. So what I'm saying, Chuck, is we are. It's not a scientific diagnosis from fans, right? It's not fair. Is what I'm saying. It is a shifting scale, because whatever narrative is there, like that informs how we feel about the moves that the players are making. You'll tell me maybe as a United fan, but I remember the time when Ronaldo was pushing for a move to Real Madrid, right? And it happened the season after eventually. The United fans did turn on him somewhat, like, oh, well, if he doesn't want to be at United or he feels that we're not big enough, then he should just leave, right? Like, and whatever, we don't need him anyway. We are Manchester United. And these are the things that happen. Because on the flip side, where Liverpool are concerned, when Liverpool decided that they were done with Sadio Mane, you didn't hear shouts from Liverpool fans or picketing outside of Anfield saying, no, we want our Sadio Mane. They're like, upon recognizing that, well, maybe he's past his peak and he's not going to give us those performances that led to championships. It's cool. He can leave.